Hello, everybody. We're talking about something this morning called iMobility BBI. That's iMobility Backbone BIOGEOPHYSICS Interaction, aka lower emission. We know definitely that this is called lower emission because it helps the car to have lower emission, like helping the transition, helping the content of the petrol, making it to be very good for the engine, not too light, not too thick. When it's too light or too thick, when it's too light, it burns out too fast, and when it burns out too fast or too quick, there tends to be what is known as high emission. And when it's too thick, there tends to be a half a half or incomplete combustion. The incomplete combustion comes from the thickness of the oil or the thickness of the petroleum, and this definitely affects the engine, and this affects the system, the emission system. And then we can actually call this an AKL lower emission system because it tends to reduce the emission system by reducing the technological aspect of petrol and battery. The petrol is that it makes it in between. So, for example, if you get into a filling station and this is in your car, this is kept in your car, you have to click the petrol, and then you have to click if you want it to be very thin, you have to click rewind, and if you want it to be very thick, you have to click forward. And then if you want it to stop, to be in the middle, you have to click this, stop, and it will be in the middle. Or you can also use this to help it definitely, like clicking emission level. When you click emission, you say, what do you need about the petroleum? You say, I want it to be in the middle so that it doesn't give high emissions. And then with that, you'll be able to know so many things about it. And from there, definitely, we can get to know so many things about this, like battery, battery. We know about the battery, we know the components of the battery, and we know definitely that the battery has to do with what they call the electrical part of the car, and the cobalts and all that is used for it definitely has some components that can be reduced through emission frequencies or emission functions definitely. And then we can actually reduce it through biotechnology by reducing the amount of cobalt in it. Because if we increase the amount of cobalt in it, then the cobalt bonds, and if the cobalt bonds, there tends to be what they call ray vibrations, so there tends to be a decomposed systems or breaking down process very fast, and the battery goes out, and the battery is thrown out into the environment, and that can affect the biosystem. And then we have what they call the eye transmission. With the eye transmission, actually, we know that we need oil and all that. And with oil, that is eye oil. As well, with oil, we can do something very vital with transmission. It enables transmission or gear systems. So the only way, if it's very thin, it might affect the transmission of the car. If it's very thick, it might affect the transmission of the car. So in the middle is better because if it's very thin, there tends to be a lot of movement, and when there tends to be a lot of movement, it burns fuel. But if it is too thick, it's clungy, and it moves very slow, and the engine breaks down. Yeah, and in both parts there tends to be emissions, but the emissions is high when it's very thin. And we have high engine. High engine has to do with definitely the engine part, definitely. So when we improve the biotechnology of the engine with the technology, engineering technology of the engine, by the physics nature of the engine, we can actually impart something through BBI, by plants and all that, through the petroleum and all that, through the air, through the gases and all that. We can improve the engine, because the engine, the pistons will be moving properly, it will be knocking properly, undergoing changes and all that, strokes and all that. So it's beautiful. I know you enjoy this. It's beautiful. And then we have what they call, we've talked about this, we talked about iThought, talked about iChat pool, iTransmission, iBattery, iPetrol. This is actually called double thread interaction. And the double thread interaction is all about iChat pool, calling iChat pool and making things ready, thereby giving verifications and authentications in the car. It will tell you if the car is ready, if the transmissions are good, if the battery is good, if the petroleum is good, if this can bring a lot of emission, or this can make the car go bad, or this can destroy the car, or this can bring a lot of emissions that can destroy the car or destroy you. And then we have what they call the BBI tab: I transmission, emission, I petrol, battery, and I oil. Yeah, we can have a lot here. We have a lot here. Beautiful out here, definitely. Like what we have all here is really beautiful, and it's good. We have emission here. I didn't keep I emission here, but it's emission. It's emission. So take it as emission. Yeah, the emission. It doesn't have to be an I, but even if it's an emission, it's an emission. If it's a transmission, it's a transmission. So it's an emission. Not an emission, but emission. That means what goes out into the air. So with all these functions, actually, we can tell about some things, actually beautiful things about the nature, and how all this works together with the AI. With the AI, that's this, and how it brings about a healthy car system with low emission. Beautiful. When you look at this, we have a gauge here, so you can get high. If you want high emission, it's here: medium, low, green, evergreen, perfect, hybrid electric vehicle, and total perfection. So with this, definitely you can get all the functions, beautiful functions. And here we have BBI, we have auto emission, biotechnology, I engine, I transmission, auto cycle, we have emission rate and live AI. We have automobile, train, airplane, bicycle, mobile, bike, ships, engineering technology, others, and AI. This is zoom, you can zoom, and then this is where it shows. This is the monitor where you have the video, where you have everything, like knowing about the emission rate, calculations of emission rates, and everything about the car, how the car emission rate has actually been decreased and all that. You get all the values here. And then this is an application for cars, for automobile, that's car, buses, lorries, that's trucks, trains, airplanes, and bicycles and motorcycles and ships. And also engineering technology, like medical engine technologies and engineering technologies and all that. So with all that, we have an integration system for all this, and this is very important for automobile and planes and trains and ships. So I hope you enjoyed it. to be integrated into the system, and once it's integrated into the system, it will bring something very good to enhance the car and bring about low emission. And this time it will be CO emission. Beautiful.